All right, everyone. So let's move on to our second model for the features tool, and that's going to be using the hole tool. So I'm going to demo how to create your circle, use your point tool, add a circular pattern, and then we're going to extrude and use our hole tool. Now, before we get started, if you look further down in the activity guide, you will see all of the images that match what it is we're going to be doing with these holes. So we're going to be referencing those slides a little bit later, but for right now, we're going to start here. So we need to create this circle shape. So this is just a circle, and it's going to be extruded to 1.50. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to create a new sketch. This time I'm going to choose the bottom. I'm going to grab my circle tool. I'm going to start at the origin, and I am going to pop that on there. The diameter of this circle is 4 inches, so I am just going to extrude that. We can find that diameter right here. Remember, the circle with a line through it is the diameter. Okay. Now I'm going to finish my sketch, and I am going to extrude this profile to 1.5. Okay. Now that I have that profile extruded, I'm going to hit Create Sketch, and I am going to choose the top view right here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come under Create, and I'm going to choose a tool we haven't used before, and that is the Point tool. Okay. So I'm going to hover over this green line and click Point. I'm going to drop my point tool with the Escape key. Now we're going to do a location dimension, meaning I'm going to choose my point and I'm going to choose the origin. And the distance between these two is 1.25. Okay, now I'm going to hit Escape because I'm done dimensioning. The next new tool that we're going to use is the Circular Pattern tool. So I'm going to select the Circular Pattern tool, and it's first going to ask me for the object that I want to create, and I'm going to choose the point. Then I'm going to grab this arrow, and I'm going to choose my origin as the center point. And then I'm going to change this to 5 and hit enter, and I now have 5 points evenly placed on my surface. I'm now going to hit finish sketch, and it's going to rotate to that isometric. Now we're going to use the hole tool, which is another new tool that we haven't used before. So we're going to come down here, and the first hole we're going to create is a hole that goes all the way through and has a diameter of 0.25. So I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to choose hole from the create menu. And I'm just going to select at the top of what looks like my star. I'm going to choose that point. Okay. I'm going to change my distance to all. And then I'm going to change this bottom diameter to 0.25. Okay. Now my first hole is in place, but I've lost all of my other sketches. And that's okay, because now I can come down to the timeline, and I'm going to come back to this sketch, right click, choose edit sketch. It's going to bring my points back. And I'm going to click on the solid menu. I'm going to choose hole, and I'm going to just go clockwise. I'm going to go to the right and choose my next point. Coming back over to our activity guide, that hole is a counter bore hole, meaning we're looking for this shape, the notched out shape. So that would be like if you were putting a screw in and you wanted it to sit flat. And then all of our measurements are here. So the counter bore diameter is 0.75. Our inner diameter is 0.375. This hole still goes all the way through, and the distance and the depth of our counter bore is 0.25. So I am going to find the counter bore selection, okay? And we are going to change the distance to all, okay? And then my top diameter, if we look back over here, that top diameter is 0.75. So I'm going to change this to 0.75. Excellent. The distance down for that counter bore is right here. It's 0.25. So we're going to change this to 0.25. Okay, we're going to leave that 118 degrees there. And then the overall diameter is still 0.25. Okay. Oh, and that's actually not going to work because that's the diameter of our hole. It does not like that depth. I wonder why. That's very curious. So we are just going to leave. Let's just do a smaller number. Okay, it's going to be a really small counter bore. That's okay. Okay, for some reason it does not like, there we go, 0.2 works. It just does not like the 0.25. All right, there we go. It worked that time. Oop, no, it did not. All right, so let's try that again. If that happens to you, you're just gonna go back to solid. You're gonna grab the hole tool. We're gonna select that point again. Part of learning to use the hole tool is that we just have to figure out what works and what does not. Okay. So the reason I know that it's being a little bit, it should be going. All right, this is. So I have a feeling, there we go. Hit OK. Now, the reason I can't see this is because my timeline, if you look down here, haha, there it is. All I did was move that marker up. Okay, so that was me fidgeting a little bit, but it's there. All right, so now we are going to grab, now the sketches are still here, so that makes it easy. We don't have to adjust that timeline again. I'm going to click the third hole, and looking at our activity guide, that third hole is a countersink hole that goes all the way through. We have those measurements again. So this time I'm going to choose countersink. Okay, so my countersink across the top right here is 0.75. So we're going to change this number to 0.75. Fantastic. Okay, the angle is 82 degrees. It's already set to that. Huzzah. Our distance, again, is it goes all the way through. We can tell by looking right here. Okay, and then my diameter for that lower portion is still 0.25. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK. And there's my countersink hole. The fourth hole is right here. We're going to come back over here, choose slide 19. Okay, this is a simple hole. Okay, it is blind. That means it doesn't go all the way through. And that distance is 0.65. So this is a 0.266 diameter and a 0.65 depth. Okay, so we are going to go back to a simple hole. All right. Our distance down is not 1.5, it is 0.65. Okay, and then the diameter is significantly smaller. This one is 0.266. So we are going to hit OK. There's that one. Let's grab that last hole. And this one is a countersink. Again, it's all the way through. So this is just more countersink practice with different measurements. So we're going to choose countersink. Okay. Our diameter is 0.217 for the inner diameter and 0.452 for the outer. So our inner diameter is 0.27. Our outer diameter, or 217, I'll fix that, 0.452. 217. This one is 0.452. And our total depth is through. So we're going to just change our distance to all and hit OK. And that's your whole model all finished.